it is all go today, but things are moving, the windows going in, the builder and plasterer are here, and it's just manic. It's absolutely amazing though. I love it. I love the vibe of the house and just how busy it is. And also we have the tiles being delivered in like 5 minutes, so it's super exciting, and hopefully I'll be able to show you them when they come. We just made a little bit of space in the dining room to put them in temporarily. We got tiles! We got tiles! Dun, dun, dun. Excuse our mess in the front garden, but we have a palette of tiles.
It's one of those mornings.
It is one of those mornings. We are not being the most productive today. We've been to our favourite place on a Sunday though.
Wex. No, B&Q.
B&Q?
One of the two.
Yes. And today we are deciding on the panelling, which we want to run right through the hallway. Now we're deciding on this because it's going to run throughout obviously the whole of the house up to where the dado rail used to be. But we have a little bit of a conundrum, shall we say. As you can see on this side, we have quite a nice, thick, good skirting board, and we want panelling which is quite thick. We don't want just beads stuck on the wall. We want actual, what would you call it, technical terms?
Panelling?
More wood.
But yeah, it's not like traditional panelling, because that would have been done in proper wood. It's only going to be MDF.
Very
but
dark.
I think it's called raised panelling.
Yeah, so raised panelling. There you go, technical term, raised panelling. And on this side, you can see we don't have any skirting board. So it's the same skirting board, but a lot less. Obviously, the walls come out a little bit further on this side. So, as you guys know, we're getting all of this plastered. We're thinking, the plan is...
Take the plaster down.
Well, not all of it down. So this wall will be plastered all the way down to there, because we've got the thick skirting board there. And then on this side, so on this side of the house, all the way down, it's got the thin skirting board. So on this side, we're gonna take the plaster down just to here, put a wood bead up so that our plasterer can plaster down to there, and then we have more depth for the panelling. We have to make that decision today though, because our plasterer starts tomorrow. So he needs to know if he's going all the way down on that side or not. So we picked up a little bit of trim and also some board here, which is 9mm, which is what we think we're going to do. And we've basically got to figure it out. It'd be so much easier if we had a carpenter to tell us what to do with it. But obviously because we're doing everything ourselves, it's keeping it a lot cheaper. So yeah, we'll just try and figure this out. And for reference, this is our inspiration for the panelling. So Al has just taken off, as you can see, the plaster there, and we have uncovered the thicker skirting board on this side. So what do you reckon? 3mm? So what would 3mm and 9mm be on there?
You need to put
12.
You need to put a baton behind it anyway.
Okay. How thick would a baton be then?
No.
We'll come back to you when we have some better idea of what's going on. This process has involved a lot of running up and down the stairs and far too much mass thinking for both Ollie and I's brain. We're just working out how high we want it now on the wall, but we think that we figured out. So we're going for, on the side that we're taking down the panelling, the plaster, we're going for batons 12mm, sheets at 6 and stays at 9. And then on the thick side, we're going for 6mm sheets and 9mm stays. I mean, if like me that means nothing to you, then I wouldn't be surprised.
It'll make sense later.
Yeah, and now we're just re-looking at our picture and we're thinking that actually we probably want it a bit lower than what they had with the dado rail. We might have it the same as the banister. 2 hours later, and we're heading out to get batons. I think we've finally made the decision. I really wish we got that on camera. That is so black. Ollie was just sat on the stairs to take this radiator out so that I can wallpaper behind. And what happened?
It exploded.
Just literally went everywhere.
Our central heating used to be run by the Raven, which is very old and low pressure. We obviously now have a pressurised system, and I haven't taken a radiator off since then.
Oh wow, so you can see it kind of went absolutely everywhere.
It doesn't look as bad as it was.
It was manic. It's all over me as well, and I wasn't even near it. Sorry about the sound, but I was stripping wallpaper. Whew.
I think I'm gonna go wash my face.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells. It's irony, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just pulled off this because we're gonna replace that at some point in the future. Just pulled off this, and there is newspaper packing this in. So this is why we have to pull everything out of this house, because this happened before we moved here.
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you, because now I see what I'm meant to be.
It feels like it's been a while. It hasn't really, but it has been a bit of a different few weeks for us, because it's been the first time in the whole year of us renovating that we've had trade-in. Obviously we had the boiler being done, but this is the first time that I feel like we've had trade-in, and for a good amount of time. They've been in for the last 2 weeks, and they're still not finished. They're coming back tomorrow just to finish the hallway. And then we've also got the bit, so our leak still isn't fixed here. We're having the scaffolding go up, but it's so nice, as you can probably tell today. It's beautiful, bright sunshine, and I'm so ready for the spring, the spring weather in the house. And I have to admit, I haven't been great with filming this. Partly because usually by the time that we come up here and see it, we're like looking at it with our phones because it's quite dark in the evening. And I didn't pluck up the courage to ask the guys if I could film. Just didn't do it. I'm really, really sorry. But you can see the after. And there's still obviously a huge amount of work to do in here. So I'll flip you around and show you where we are. I've come back out to the hallway, and they have just freshly plastered this here. So they've also done the ceiling. The ceiling feels so good, because they feel like the ceilings were the worst affected in this house. They're coming back to do this huge wall. This is probably the biggest wall, and I think they're going to do it as a bit of a team tomorrow. You can see that we got the boarding up for the paneling on the stairs. They've just popped this here because, annoyingly, with the age of the house, it's all a little bit wonky, and there was like plenty of depth here, but there wasn't enough depth down towards the bottom for the wall to hit the boarding when they plastered. So as in, they would have had nothing to plaster down to. So that's why they've popped this up. So that's just temporary. We'll take that off, and then we'll finish off all of our paneling for here. And I think this is one of my favorite views, because it just makes it feel so bright and fresh up here, especially with the 2 windows. It just really changes the room. I can't wait until this is a bathroom. It's going to feel really homey up here. Yeah, so everything's plastered up here now in this part of the hallway. The bathroom, we are still waiting on our plumber to come and put in all of the pipework. So this is kind of stopped for the moment until that can be done, and we're just finalizing everything that we're ordering and bits that are going in. I can't wait to get the tiles down and to finally see how this is going to come out, because visualizing it and just thinking about it for ages, it just gets a bit like you just can't wait to see it. But it's amazing to see it kind of turning into a little bit of a room now. You can see how much beautiful sunshine that window brings in. Somebody asked actually on my Instagram what we insulated this with. It's rock wool. In here we have it quite deep. I believe it's like the 100, is that 100 mil? And I actually popped this up the other day. It's so easy to do. You can just cut it with a bread knife and slot it into the shape And we're hoping that that's going to really help with the sound in here, especially for this wall with it being a bathroom. I cannot wait for this tile. I'm just really daydreaming about things at the moment again. Although I've been beating myself up way more on the decision making. I remember somebody asking me in the comments, did I get like a decision fatigue with the downstairs? And to be honest, I was like, no, I really didn't. But upstairs I have, because I think I feel a lot more responsibility with it being long term. Downstairs everything was so cheap and temporary. Kind of knew if I didn't like it I could do it again, and there was something really freeing about doing that, and it all turned out really well anyway. Whereas upstairs here I'm really second thinking about everything that we're choosing and picking and decision making. So yeah, I just kind of want it to be done, and I think it is good that we do have some trade coming in, because it makes us make the decision much more quickly than perhaps we would have if we were doing it ourselves. And let me tell you, I feel like I could have taken months to be making these decisions. It would have been very slow progress on the videos. And I know this probably isn't exciting for you, but just a flat roof with the sun shining in. Can you guys remember what it was like in here? I wonder if I can put in a clip of how bad it was in here when we were ripping it all out. It feels just like fresh again, which is nice. And then this room is done. It's pretty much ready for us to go, which is insane. I have just propped you on our fireplace, and it's making this room seem so much like a room. But where are we going from here? What's next? Let's chat that. So we are fixing the roof. The scaffolding is going up next week. We weren't forecasting to put scaffolding up, but obviously roof needs to be fixed, and we're presuming, like, it's barely a leak, to be honest. There's a really tiny little drip there. To be honest, we probably wouldn't have noticed it, which isn't a great thing for years, if we hadn't have taken the ceiling down. But it's probably just a sub-tile because it happened when Storm Dennis came. So yeah, scaffolding is going up next week, and then hopefully the roof will be fixed within the next day or so from that. And then the chats can come back in and finish the bedroom in there. We are going to start to, we're keeping the original floorboards. I definitely feel like it's the right decision now, because having gone back and forth with it so many times, I love the original floorboards, and I think it's how we will like to live with them right now. But in the future, if we do decide to carpet, we haven't actually paid out for any flooring. You guys might remember that we were looking at some really nice engineered wood flooring. If we had paid out for that now, and come a few years time when the rooms change, I thought, actually now I want to carpet them, it would have been such a waste. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to actually take up every single board and plane them instead of sanding them. Now the reason that we're doing that is because we did sand downstairs. Number one, it was terribly dusty. We felt like some of the boards we would have wanted to move anyway, so put them in better positions. For example, some of them have been cut over the years for the plumbing or that kind of thing, so it would be nice that we could position the boards so that if we have a rug in the middle of the room, then the cut can be in the middle of the room instead of at the edge as you walk in the door where you're always going to see it. So we're taking up every board and we're going to plane them, so hopefully they're going to be beautifully flat both on the top and on the sides. And I think with sanding the floors, that's where we had our issues, that the sides weren't totally flat, and then we're hoping that we can really butt them up together so you don't get so much of a gap. Hoping that it's going to look sleek. We've never done it before, so I have no idea. You guys can go through that journey with us. And then we definitely are going to kind of seal them. One of you said ages ago when we were doing our floor downstairs to save all of the sawdust that came with it, which we didn't do, unfortunately. It was too late. But we're going to keep that this time, and we might look at doing PVA mix with that for them. And I think we'll probably go for the same stain as we did downstairs, the Osmo, because I absolutely love that. Really happy with how that turned out. So that's pretty simple. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to start at the edge of each room, because our radiators are then going to come in. So we're having our radiators sit below each of our windows, and we're going to have to kind of take up maybe these 3 boards, sand them, plane them, get them ready so that the radiator can then go in, and then we'll have to move across and do the rest of the floor. And then we can get to the fun stuff, which is the painting, getting all the light fixtures in. We're gonna look at building wardrobes in to the cubby holes here. I think we're gonna look at doing that ourselves, like an IKEA hack. Ollie's quite keen on that. I'm not so good at the woodwork as he is, so I'm trusting him on that one. And we're also putting like wardrobes out in the hallway there to give a lot of extra storage. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. It seems really odd. Oh, some little bits and bobs as well, like skirting board to go in. But in all honesty, I'm really in no rush with it at the moment. I think the last 2 weeks have been so stressful. I actually went to see yesterday a girl called Clem, who I met on Instagram, and she's also renovating. She's renovating the most beautiful cottage. I'll put her Instagram below so that you can go and have a look and follow her. She is so lovely. We got on, I felt like I'd known her forever, and we talked all stuff renovation. But I was saying how it's always funny how the grass is always greener on the other side. When you're doing the work, it's kind of like, oh, like it would be so nice to get people into this, and then when you get people in, I don't know, I find it quite stressful, and at points you think probably a lot of this we could have done. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having the house back, if I'm honest, and just having a few days to regroup, calm, organise, and know where we're going with things. And I don't want to sound like I'm not excited, because I am so happy every day. Ollie and I have been coming up here and been like, oh, what have they done today? This is so exciting. And like literally coming to fill the walls all of the time. Like, oh my gosh, look how smooth and gorgeous they are. Yeah, I feel like the plastering is probably one of the most satisfying parts of renovating, because it brings it all together. It makes it feel gorgeous and polished and fresh. Just listening to the birds, and it makes me so excited to be up here for spring. So tonight, I think I'm gonna go through, I got a question in my little Q&A that I did, which was just talking about any products that you wanted to know about on my Instagram. I wanted to mention it on here because I try and answer any comments within the first kind of hour, or like when I can on YouTube. But so many of them get buried, and I often don't see a lot of them. So if you've ever asked about a product, then head over to my Instagram, and when I put this up tomorrow, I'll put another question little thing there on the Insta stories, so that you guys can ask anything, because I know it's annoying when you're researching for something, you see something you like and you just want to know that floor stain or that kind of thing. So if there's anything that I haven't answered on here, pop over there and I will answer it for you. But one of the questions I got was kind of our top tools or must-have things that we felt have really benefited us in the renovation. And there are actually quite a few, which I feel like if we could pack a little tool bag and we could only take 10 things to another renovation, I think we have quite a few that I just couldn't be without. So we're gonna go through those with you this evening when Ollie's back, because I kind of want us both to pick some and then see which ones we would pick. Ollie's home, and I even made him dinner to make guilt trip him into videoing tonight.
It worked.
So we're going to go through our top things, and actually we already just had a little talk about it, and pretty much it's totally overlapped, because I was saying earlier that I might pick 5 and you can pick 5, but from the scheme of things we probably pick
the same 5.
the same things. So let's get into the first one. Actually, I'm thinking that we should see this one in action. So this is in no particular order, because we're literally just going around the house trying to find where all of these things are. I have actually mentioned this already on my Insta stories. It's very dusty, everything in the house is right now. It's our wood scraper, and it has been the best thing ever. We looked at, didn't we? We bought lots of
paint strippers.
Which one was it though? I'm trying to think of the name. Nitromors. And it just, we didn't find it worked at all. And even though it did like pull up the paint, it made it all sticky and horrible, and it just was kind of useless. So this is insane. I'm gonna try and find a patch. Should we try and find a patch so we can? So we've got a patch here that we've actually already started, because the plasterers are gonna be plastering here, so we want it taken off. Sorry if that might sound horrible, but it is a bit of a process, but it comes off so much easier, especially on flat surfaces. It won't be great for getting in here though.
No, and it comes off cleanly. Whereas with the nitrile stuff, like you have to.
Oh my god, it's
put
such
it
a
on,
fast.
Scrub it, take it off. This, like, at least when it's off, it's just clean
Off
wood,
and clean.
then it's just like a light sand, and it's finished.
Yeah, so that's our number one. Ollie is very kindly demonstrating this one for us. Our masks. So these are asbestos level masks, aren't they? We got it just in case we had any asbestos, and we use it for any dusty work. They are a little bit full on, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but at the same time, if you're doing any work with MDF, then you should have a mask on. If you're doing anything dusty, you should have a mask on. Live plaster, like our lathe and plaster old walls, they've got
So dusty.
horsehair and weird stuff in, so you kind of don't want to be breathing any of that in. So these are a must.
Yeah, I can't believe how much we've used those.
And they're really good
over
as
the
well
time that you've had
because
them.
They have replaceable filters.
Yeah.
So we've already clogged ours up once. We've already replaced them. We should probably replace it more often than we do, but they're good.
Yep, number two, face masks. Number three, this baby is my absolute favourite. I do love it. Ollie wanted it. I wasn't so keen. Explain why.
Why you weren't so keen or why I wasn't?
Why you wanted it.
So it has a pickup point on the front. So you can plug a sander in or some other power tool. So when you turn your sander on, the vacuum turns on straight away.
So if you're sanding, it will take up the sanding dust.
Yeah. And then that sucks out of the black thing, which is called a dust commander. And that just separates all of like the really heavy brick dust and things from the air and dumps into the bucket. So basically you don't need to have a vacuum bag in the vacuum, and it just kind of like protects the vacuum for longer. So you're not going to kill it really quickly. And then you just need to dump out the bucket every few days, weeks.
And it means that for us especially, because we are living in the renovation and we have so much kind of big chunks of rubble that usually you wouldn't be able to hoover up, you can sweep and you can use a dustpan and brush, but it gets all of the dust up into the air, gets all the way down the stairs. With a hoover it keeps it a lot more contained. It's definitely made living in the renovation so much easier. We're kind of cheating here with number four because we've had a lot of wallpaper in our house. We absolutely needed a wallpaper steamer. It's the best way to get it off. Actually, we do have a technique with the wallpaper scraping. We'll go through that one day. But the scraper makes such a difference. We ordered one of these off of Amazon and we bought one in store, either B&Q or Screwfix. I can't explain the world of difference that it makes. This one just scrapes absolutely everything off. They look the same. It's so deceiving.
Even the same kind of like packaging.
Yeah, like it's nearly exactly the same. But one of them, it really gets under the wallpaper, whereas the other one you're kind of like scraping away. So would highly recommend, if you've got a lot of wallpaper, you're going to spend hours doing it like we did, one of these. Sidetracked, if you thought that we got away from the dining room, it's just moved to this room. We love that hoover so much that we actually bought the little baby version the other day, and this one I'm keeping as a little bit more of a cleaner one. We don't have a bucket on this one, but the hoover generally is a very good DIY hoover. Ollie also wanted me to mention that the hoovers suck up water, which is a good point. Number five, this baby, which you guys will have all seen in the dining room reveal. We love this stuff. We call it TSP, that's what we call it on all of the videos, but that's short for trisodium phosphate. And it's a like industrial grease remover, but it just removes things just insanely. I wouldn't use it for day-to-day cleaning. It's a very harsh, you have to wear gloves. I'd also recommend using a mask and not getting any of it on your skin. This stuff brought me out in a rash before. Long-time followers will know that. But yeah, amazing if you've got kind of somewhere exceedingly dirty to clean up. Now there have been a few things through this renovation that Ollie and I have looked at separately to buy, and when we've shown one another we've both been like, no, that's just ridiculous, we don't need that. This was one of them. So I found this sandpaper and I was like, so expensive, we absolutely do not need that. I saw it on a kitchen painter's YouTube, who I will also link below. It's called Merca, and it is just, it's so hard, but it's the best sandpaper that I've ever used. And Ollie too. You'd buy this again now, wouldn't you?
Oh, hands down, if we run out of it tomorrow. But like, we've been here.
We've been
a year.
You can, comes in a big roll, and you just rip off a sheet through here each time you want one. It's got this amazing sponge on the back, so it's really easy on your hands to use. which is just an extra plus point, but really it makes things beautifully smooth, but it's also quite like, it's quite rough in a way. It does actually sand down things. It's not just too surface sanding, but makes it beautifully smooth. It's really easy to use. Do you know, it's just one of those things that we absolutely love and we'll buy time again.
We're those people who have favourite sandpaper.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? I feel like until you have it though, you just wouldn't know. I was going to take you through number 6 because this is one that I've got to say I don't use. I have tried to use it. It is tricky though. It's got a real kick to it, but we probably couldn't have done without it. No, we couldn't have done without it, could we?
We would have had to get one. So we refer to this in the videos as kanga, which is short for kangaroo. I'm not entirely sure why. My family's just always referred to it as the kanga. Technically it is an SDS drill or an SDS plus drill, which basically just means it's a massive drill, but it can also do like a hammering action, which is what we use it for mostly. And it will go through concrete and tiling and anything really.
Literally anything.
Absolutely anything.
So this is one that we've got, Ollie was saying, it's pretty old. And this is what we use to take down the plaster. The lovely time lapse of you taking it down is quite satisfying. It's hard to use though, isn't it? As in, it is still, it doesn't totally do the job for you. Like, you've got to really control it.
It takes it down a lot quicker, but it is heavy. It hurts your arms. I think health and safety wise, you're probably only supposed to use it for like a certain amount of time. Number 8 is a drill and an impact driver. The impact driver will put screws in a lot quicker than a regular drill, but also taking screws out, if they are stuck in there, this will get them out a lot better. The brand doesn't really matter, just go with whatever you can find and what's cheapest. We went with these because Wix had a deal on the batteries, which you got them for way less than anyone else was offering, so that's why we went with these ones. And make sure you get a good drill bit. This one was kind of expensive, I think it was like 10 quid just for the drill. However, it goes through our walls a hell of a lot quicker than the ones we had before, which were just a budget sort of JCB option from B&Q or something. Invest in these because you'll be using them time and time again. Every day. Every day.
Literally every day. They get so much use. The found it dance. We've been running up and down the stairs trying to find this one. This is number 9? Number 9.
Also kind of should be maybe number 1, I feel. This is very important.
It has been for us because we have floorboards.
We have floorboards. If you've got floorboards, this is like, you should go buy it now.
Yeah, it's the only way to get them up nicely. Oh, are you actually gonna?
Well, we have some open space here.
Oh, well, you can show how it quite.
So that just goes under there, and then you just lift them up.
Yeah, it kind of locks in between the joists, and then you'd like slowly go down each joist and kind of ease the board up.
But we've also used it to do plaster, to move a cooker, to basically demolish anything.
Oh, we use it for the doors. All of our doors that we've taken off have been really heavy to lever them up.
It's just really useful to have a massive lever around and big demolition tool.
Yeah, it is. It's funny how obviously it's a tool for taking out floorboards, but we use it for so much more than that.
Yeah, really useful.
Number 10 is something that I said to Ollie, can't we get this? And he was like,
oh, it was,
no.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, he was like, no, Laura, they're so expensive. We can't do that. No, we don't really need one. He then looked it up. And what did we get?
Balloon popper.
No, it's not a balloon popper.
Nail gun. We got a nail gun. It is technically an 18 gauge brad nailer, but that basically just means it fires in quite small nails from 15mm up to 32mm. Really useful for putting in our skirting board, the panelling in the bathroom, the panelling in the hallway. IKEA furniture, you could probably construct like quicker with one of these. It's really, really useful if you've got a lot of woodwork in the house, and kind of hand in hand with one of these is a nail punch. It leaves the nails slightly proud, so then you can just go around and like tap them in so they're completely flush, fill them in with some polyfiller, and you won't see them.
Job done.
Can you say sorry for all my arms?
Do you want to apologise for your arms?
This job's like really hard. I say way too much.
Talking on camera is so much harder than I think people expect it to be, especially to do it naturally and just flow normally.
Not say every other word.
I'll cut out all this. Anyway, that is our top 10 things that we felt like we've used time and time again in the renovation. I'm sure there's some that we will feel like we should have mentioned in there. We've grown quite a collection of things actually, haven't we? But we're going to be doing this for a long time, and really tools make such a difference. It's well worth investing, especially if you're doing it yourself. We found that for the money that you're saving, it's worth spending just that little bit to get a tool to ease the job.
Even some higher bits, worth spending sometimes the money to buy your own version instead of having to hire it multiple times.
Yeah, or equally, if you're not sure about an item, you could hire it first.
And then commit to buying it later.
Yeah.
Just be clever with your purchases.
Have we been?
Relatively, I got the best tool ever. Handy girlfriend. And Gramps. How about Handy Gramps?
Can't believe you just called me a tool.